Hey,
We're
we're live.
live. Oh man,
Oh,
what a week. What
yeah,
a week. We're
we're live.
here.
Barely,
We're alive.
barely.
Barely. Yes. So hello. Welcome to everybody. Dan and I are holding down the fort today for Geek Out Live. And we thought, what a better way to end up the week than to talk about where we've been. We've been on a little bit of journey with membership spaces. As most people know, we've been on a long, multi-year engagement with memberships, and we build pretty high end, souped up level or 1.0 memberships. And so for the past year now, we've been trying to figure out how to do that in 2.0. So we have a lot of projects going on. We have a couple different builds and deploys going on with 2.0, and we have learned a ton. And so we thought maybe we just riff today and share a little bit about our insights and what we've learned, not just about the tool, but also just in terms of if you're trying to take on continuity, what does that actually mean when it comes to the tech that you're building? Dan, did I miss anything in the highlights of the journey so far that we want to hit on?
Well, I thought that the upshoot from the entire week here is that we were all going to quit and like get some robes and go live on top of a mountain somewhere where it was much safer. Because apparently
Yeah.
we're not going to do that. So hang on,
No, no, we're staying on firm ground. On firm ground. Yeah.
I start talking crap and then I start choking. So yeah. Well, this morning, just a little bit of something from earlier today. I was on the ClickFunnels ambassador call, and they asked a question. We were talking about membership sites and everything. Excuse me one one more second here as I get my throat working.
Don't die.
Trying not to. But the one thing that I said, and I told them, got to tell some people the backstory about me and memberships, blah blah blah, since way back. But I I have always been just an absolute lover of ClickFunnels 1.0 and everything about it. And as I mentioned again this morning, what I like is that it's infinitely extendable, but so is 2.0, in that you can put in all kinds of code, you can add other things to it. And now with 2.0, we're going to have access to the API. We're going to be able to build apps and attach apps and do all kinds of crazy stuff like that. But I was still very reluctant with the membership areas in 2.0, just because they're basically two totally different animals. What you have in 1.0 and what you have in 2.0 are two totally different things in many ways. And so again, I was reluctant on the 2.0, but in the last couple of weeks, we had the opportunity to build a funnel for a man who is a New York Times bestseller. And so we built out a nice little funnel for one of his companies. And I'm not saying that I completely love 2.0 yet, as far as the membership sites go, because my true love, my first love, will always be 1.0 membership sites. But they're growing on me some. They're
Yeah.
growing on me some. I can see the potential. And as I mentioned this morning at Funnel Hacking Live, they talked about at least 6 or 8 different ways that within the membership sites, or courses they call it in 2.0, within the courses in 2.0, and also within what they call it, the learning hubs,
Yeah.
quite possibly. Well, I think also then, I think about it, the customer center, and God only knows where else. But there's at least 6 or 8 different places along the way that you can easily put in upsells along the way, so that
Mhm.
if you bring somebody in for free, and that was always one of the things with 1.0 that we talked about, is bring people in for free and then upsell them. Bring
Mhm.
them in, let them in, leave a front door open for them just to come basically walking in, give them a little taste of what you got, and then boom, upsell them to something else. Well, in 2.0 now, still not convinced there's a way to let them in for free, but there might be. I'm not really sure at this point because I haven't had a chance to look at this. But again, there's like 6 or 8 different ways you can then upsell them as well. And if there's a
Yeah.
way to get them in for free, we'll figure that out. And if not, we'll talk to the dev guys and see about creating a way to get people in for free, because that's really a good thing. Just get them in, give them a couple lessons, and they go, wow, this guy actually knows what the hell he's talking about. Click the button, upgrade to the next level, whatever that next level happens to be.
Yeah.
And I think in 2.0, you can also get more granular as to what is the next level you show them. Because
Yeah.
based upon what they currently have, you can show them the next level up. Whereas again, in 1.0, we didn't have nearly the automation abilities that they have in 2.0.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely has been a shift on the Geek Out team. I think you and I were both pretty starch advocates of like, we are staying on 1.0 until we know 2.0 is ready. It's not ready yet. But as of probably 2 weeks ago, I think both you and I are starting to warm to 2.0. I know I am. I
Yeah,
think Susan was there sooner than
yeah,
we were.
warm too, yes. Ready to marry it, not quite,
Right,
but we're getting there.
right,
We're moving in the
right.
right direction. They
Yeah,
are. Let's put it this way: they are moving in the right direction enough
yeah,
that they're starting to get us on board. And because of some projects we're doing, we're being forced to dive into it some more, and that's really getting us to the point where it's like, okay, we thought this was a problem. This is how we deal with it. This is how we build a membership. There was with this one we were just currently building. Um, it, I learned a lot about how to lay out the pages inside a membership site. I learned a lot more about how to use the templates. And that's it. It's just the level of complexity for 2.0 is honestly like 10x what it is for 1.0. But it
yeah,
also gives you 10x the opportunity as well.
yeah.
So
Like you're on a
it's something we got
yeah.
to learn.
It's a complex machine for sure. And like we've been saying the whole time, right? 2.0 is not a software, it's a platform. And you can feel it when you're in there. And we've been playing around trying to understand the APIs and trying to understand like how that flows. And it does, I mean, I really appreciate the direction they're going. And it is getting there. I agree with you, Dan. It's finally kind of starting to level out and get there.
Yeah. I mean, I would
Yeah.
say the biggest issue with 2.0 is just not having the time to learn everything it can do because
Hmm.
it's the Swiss Army knife now, and the ClickFunnels is basically a scissors, and this is a Swiss Army knife, and now I got to figure out how to use these 12 extra tools that I have and
Yeah.
times 10 in
Yeah.
2.0.
Yeah, so true. So true. Okay, so let's go ahead. And I want to just, one other thing as we're building, there's the tech side of it, but a lot of people, what they don't talk about is the reason why 2.0 is so interesting and so exciting right now is what they have done to support moving and shifting your business into a continuity business and not just a transactional business. So being able to more effectively handle upsells and downsells and subscription management and all of that is baked into the features. And in addition, if you're trying to tackle the continuity experience, we have found that building a continuity experience is very different than just building a membership experience. So we can make an amazing membership experience for a one-off course and we would see incredible engagement, but that is a drop in the bucket compared to this long-term in our language experience model engagement system that keeps them coming back again and again and again for continuity experience. And so we've been talking a lot about that, training our geeks on that and trying to understand that. But there's a big shift. And at least right now, if you look out in the ClickFunnels community, I think a lot of times the limit of the conversation right now is you need a success path, right? We all agree on that. And then you have this library model, and that's it. Like that's kind of the conversations that we're seeing. Or if you're engaged in Russell's models, that's what he's presenting and sharing. But I think there's a lot of room for opportunity. And I know we talk about it a lot of like, what does an actual continuity experience look like long term? And I think it's more than just do a course, have a library. I think it has to come in these cycles based on what they're learning. And so trying to then get the tech to support that is, I think, our next. It's like Star Trek, our final frontier. I don't know.
Is that a
Um,
train that you're going past your house?
it is. Do you hear that? Yeah, it's like way
Yeah.
down the valley. That's amazing. You can
Oh,
hear that.
sure, sure. It's way down the valley. It's not like
It
right
is.
outside
It's like
the window.
way down the valley.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's
Yeah.
echoing today. I've never heard that before.
Oh,
It's echoing right up your valley, I guess. Yeah, I forgot. Well, what you were saying there is we talk about continuity, but the real thing we're talking about is getting people to stick.
yeah.
Because if you, for whatever reason, content, um, lack of community, lack of whatever it is, they leave, it doesn't do you any good. And so
Right.
you gotta build an ecosystem where somebody wants to keep giving you the whatever it is, $7, 47, 97, 997, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then the big one, it's something that Dan Kennedy's been talking about forever. And even before that, in the real estate world where I was in, they talked about a very simple concept, and is pain of disconnect. And
Mm-hmm.
so pain of disconnect could be something as simple as, hey, there's this Facebook group I love going to every day because the people in there are cool and we talk about cool stuff. Well, if you
Mm-hmm.
tell them, okay, this is a paid Facebook group and you can't show up anymore, guess what? They're going to keep paying.
Yeah.
So they don't want that disconnect out, and the same thing with the content and whatever. And so in the old days, what guys would do is they get them into these real estate programs, and they give them a fax number, they give them an 800 number, they give them all these different things that when they left the program, they had to then go out and get a new 800 number, get a new fax number, and get a new email address. And so it was painful to leave. And
Yeah.
so you don't do the pain to hurt or punish somebody. You do the pain because you're giving them something great that when they leave, they're going to miss it.
Right.
And so, I
Yes.
mean, if you leave a relationship, no matter what, you normally miss something about the person, maybe not a lot, but you normally miss at least something about that person, or you wouldn't have
Yeah.
stayed around for a period of time, or, the loss of a loved one or anything else. There's always that pain of disconnect. And so
Yeah.
that has to be built in as well.
So true. Right. And we're just scratching the surface on what the pain of disconnect could be for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. But
Um,
in many cases here, just all you need is community. I mean, sometimes just having a great community where people can go in and ask questions is all you really need. And they'll just stay around paying money every month. And that's what you
yeah.
really, I mean, it sounds cold and callous. Oh, they stay around and pay money every month. Well, they're there because they are receiving something.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
giving you a couple of shekels every month, but they're receiving something. And
Yeah.
once they stop receiving something of value, then they go away.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And that's where it gets interesting. It's like that, I think that having the library of content too helps though, right? Of like, I know that I have access to this amazing just host of resources and content. But how to actually consume that in a way that they'll stay long term is, I think, part of the challenge.
Oh,
Or I should the opportunity in building
that
that.
is the challenge. I
Yeah.
don't think it's part of the challenge. I think it is the challenge. How do you get them to stay?
Yeah.
Because if you get somebody in and 30 days later they're gone, doesn't do you any good. You're working really hard to get nothing.
Yeah. Yep. So true. I think the other conversation too is that, like most things, when we see, the things that Russell produces, right? They're big and they're amazing, and I mean, he has like years and years and a lifetime of work and content and resources that are available to him. So when you're first launching your continuity program, I think a lot of times it's hard, for us to like have the vision and the model that's out there, but then we're where we're at with the content we have, right? And so one of the other conversations that we're having is, I'll share my screen here, is as you start to think about your continuity program, to think about it more like software development, where when I'm building a product, right, I'm not thinking that I'm going to deliver this, right? Or I'm not thinking I'm going to deliver number 4 right on the first day. I'm more thinking about, okay, what could be the best possible experience that I could give with my scope and the resources that I have right now? And so if we carry this same concept where every release of my continuity is going to deliver still a pleasurable experience, then at least in the GeekOut world, we're calling this the alpha beta version 1 full production process. And that a lot of times people are trying to do full production or even version 1, where it's like a huge library and a course and a sprint and coaching, and where instead of like just start small with your little alpha idea, even if it's like we started once a week, hot seat, $47 a month, come and get your questions answered and get unique support from 4 experts in ClickFunnels. And so we've been talking a lot about like, don't try to deliver the full production system on day 1. Just start with alpha small to start to get that engine running, no pun intended, on your continuity play. So that's been another interesting of just how to think about continuity experience versus having a course, or that it's more like the full production. So when we release it, it can be DIY and I just have to worry about selling. Continuity isn't that way. Any thoughts on that, Dan? I know we've talked a lot about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's again what we were talking about on the ambassador call this morning, which I think I said something to you before we got on this call. I think it's exactly what you got on the screen here, which is you have to start with something small. And so the concept is you start selling your program. First off, you got to see if people are going to like your stuff. So you sell it, you get it out there, you tell people what it's going to be. And if you get crickets, well, then okay, well, don't spend your time building it. See, that's what people do is they'll spend 8 months building out a program, launch it to the world, and the world will go, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Seen that before. Nothing new. But if you put out in front of them the idea that you have and you say, okay, here's what I got, and it's X number of dollars, jump in, and this is how it's going to work. And this is the old Steve Larson thing is this is how it's going to work is on Monday, I'm going to release the content. On Thursday, we're going to talk about it. And then on Thursday, when you talk to them about it, they're going to say, oh, well, I think you also need this and you need this. And I didn't understand this part here. And then you start to say to yourself, okay, so we're in the alpha stage here and we got this stuff. We started to build it. And then you talk to your people and they go, well, what I really want is this too. Okay, great. That's going to be part of the program. We're going to build that in. Now, sometimes they ask for stuff and you just go, no, I ain't going to do it. Ain't going to happen. But you just keep building and building as you go along. And eventually you got your Ferrari, you got on the screen here for a course because you listened to the people, you took their feedback, and you built it to what they want, which then, because they will take ownership in that, hey, I helped Dan build this course. So they have ownership, they have buy-in, and they're going to stay a lot longer if this is, I mean, I was talking purely a course kind of thing, but if you're talking a continuity program, it's the same thing. If you keep giving them what they want every month and you communicate with them and give them what they want, it's just like having a spouse or anybody else in your life. You want to keep them happy, you got to communicate with them and give them what they want. Unless it's crystal meth, then I strongly suggest not giving them what they want. Just
I hope YouTube doesn't hear that and then flag us.
What did you say?
Yeah. And then the last thing that I think has been really interesting part of this conversation is if we think about our continuity experience delivery this way, we keep our tech in check for this, but then we also, then the name of the game when you're building these alpha continuities and launching them to the world is it pulls in this concept of frameworks and really just focusing on your frameworks, and that the continuity is built around your frameworks. And it's the same frameworks. And Russell would say this in his linchpin book, the same frameworks are in your level 1, your level 2, your level 3. It's just the degree that they have access to you, the degree and the depth at which they can go in your frameworks, and the success that they can ultimately have given where they're at. So, but the name of the game when you're playing these continuity experiences is that the frameworks are the same and that the people are just trying to get into and navigate the framework with the programs that you're laying out before them. And
the more people you have in and the more people you show this to and the more people you talk to about it, the more granular you can define that framework as well. And you're just going to continue to work on it and build it and make it better and better and better with everybody. I mean, the biggest thing is you throw something out there to people and they all just look at you and go, I have no idea what you're talking about. You got a problem. Then you got to go in and you got to tweak it and go, okay, how can I teach this framework to somebody then? I just gave you this whole big dump of framework on top of your head and you just go, I don't have a clue what you just said. Then you got to back up and go, okay, what do I have to do to be able to teach this? Because I believe this framework is important. How do I teach it to people then? What words do I have to use? What concepts, what images do I have to bring into their mind in order to be able to convey what's in my head into theirs?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of times we got crap in our heads And we think, especially you're building something out like this, you think, oh, well, everybody knows how to do that.
Yeah.
And so then you dump a bunch of information on them and you realize, okay, nobody knew how to do step 1, 2, and 3 like I thought they did. So now I got to start back over again and teach them 1, 2, and 3 because they don't know that. And that's important for them to know. And I didn't know that they didn't know that. So
Yeah.
again, it's get this stuff out there, build your little, whatever you had there, your little skateboard, start off on your skateboard and just building upon it. And then eventually you'll have the Ferrari. I'm
Yeah.
not quite
Back
sure
here.
how skateboard turned into a Ferrari, but
It's more about the experience each step of the way, and the intentional experience each step of the way, I think, is more of what they're trying to illustrate. That
and
there's still an intentional experience.
it's very crude drawing as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yep. Very cool. Okay, I know we're almost at time. I do want to make one more announcement. If you haven't seen it, are you living under a rock? No, I'm just kidding. So we have been doing the 15 days of Geekmas this week, or the past 15 days leading up into the holiday break. And we thought, what better way to give back to all of our viewers and all of the members of our Geek Out community with things that we call geek mods. Now, geek mods could be code hacks, they could be process hacks, they could be tools that you can plugins and things to basically make your technology system with ClickFunnels and the surrounding tech come alive. And so we are giving a mod away every day for free. So if you come to, and I'll go ahead and drop this into the chat. There we go. If you come and you check out Geekmas 2023, you can see all of the code or all of that we've dropped so far. And oh, it looks like this image isn't updated. Dang. Okay, that's okay. Let me go to Geek Out Academy, and then this is where you can access all of these things.
Well, have you done the Geek Mass drop for the day yet?
Yes, it went live just before we did. So it might actually just be finishing up at the same time because we go live inside of our Facebook group on that one. Yeah. And then you go to the Geek Mod community, and in here is where you can see all of the mods that we are dropping. So for instance, if you want to come in, Dan gave a ton of code ones this week. Actually, let me stop share and let me pull up what we dropped this week so we can get everybody the latest and greatest, because it's just too cool. And you gave a lot of code this week, like really cool stuff. So I want to make sure that people know what's available to them inside of our channel. All right. So because I'm not entirely sure where they're at in their journey, I'm just going to go up into, here we go, to yesterday. So this is what we are dropping. So on the we dropped the newsletter opt-in submission, which is a little bit of code when you're on your funnel hub and they come and they put their name in and then it just does nothing. Dan made a little bit of code that basically allows it to still submit, and then a pop-up saying you've subscribed, and then continue and back onto the page. So super nice little hack that he did there. We do it on all of our funnel hubs, and it makes the customer experience better. Then we also did, I talked about how to leverage pipelines in 2.0 for customer journey tracking, which is just such a fun way to drive engagement and know where all your customers are, especially as we talk about continuity. We talked about how you could do a blog in under 10 minutes with a tool called Glasp. We talked about how you can actually map out customer journeys with Canva's whiteboard. Then we also gave a share funnel for how to do a funnel tree, which is you don't need Milkshake, you don't need Linktree. All you need is ClickFunnels, and we show you how to create your funnel tree, aka the link in bio, with ClickFunnels. And then I give away my tagging system, which is a schema that will help you save so much time and energy understanding your tags. And then Dan started giving us code this week. So we have this cool little chip of code that he gave us where you can overlap an image with a button, making it just, again, this like come alive, the button come alive. It's super cool. One of those pesky things when you're building is the column heights don't always match. So Dan has some really nice code that makes sure that if you have a table or a column, a multi-column row, it allows to make sure that all of those column heights are the same. and then a change on hover. So super fun, just interactive element that when the mouse hovers over an element or a picture, it'll swap to a different one so you can drive some engagement. So super cool. And then you have to tune in to the one today to figure out what it is. So those can all be found inside of our membership area, which of course I have lost at this moment in time. I don't know why.
You don't have nearly enough windows open. You need more.
Exactly. So we're
I
going
don't
to
know
Geek
how
Out
your computer
Academy.
continues to run.
I know, it's amazing. She's a beast. So we're gonna go to Geek Out Academy. And inside Geek Out Academy, you go down to the Geek Mod community, and you can find every single one of these mods inside of there. So that's that creator map in Canva. Those are the sales pipelines for customer journeys. The Funnel Hub has a bunch of them, but some of those ones that we mentioned are all in there. The one on YouTube for GLASP is right there. So you can come in here and you can find all of these wonderful mods, and they're all free. So come on down and grab them today. All right, Dan, I think that rounds it out. We've had a busy week. We've had a couple launches, couple membership builds. It's almost quitting time on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well needed.
At this point from all of the fun and jocularity we've had all week long. So
it's true.
And and the joy of Geekmas. I mean, come on. Who does not love the Geekmas season?
That's right. Exactly. Yep. So
the only thing I got a problem with your Geekmas graphic there is you got the numbers in the wrong order.
What are you talking about?
If you sing the song on the first day of Christmas,
oh yeah,
it starts with
it's
1.
Counting up instead of counting down. Yep.
We
thought we'd do the marketing spin. We thought we'd do the marketing spin on the holiday advent calendar.
How many turtle doves do you think she needs? I don't think she needs 15 days worth of turtle doves. That's more than enough.
Well, since we're only doing one robot a day, maybe we needed it's 15 doves worth of a robot.
Yeah, so that's all I got. So that's our fun for this week, I guess.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you guys as always for tuning in. We just appreciate all of you guys so much. We can't wait to see you inside of the Geek Out community. Until next week, have a wonderful Friday and talk to you later.